Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Jazz. Welcome to this solstice meditation. I'm just waiting to see if everything is going live. There we go. My page has come up. So, welcome to the winter solstice meditation. If you've been with me for a while, you know that the winter solstice is a big deal to me. This is my New Year's Eve. This is kind of my Christmas Eve. This is my gift to myself every year where I kind of stop and really go within, spend a whole day doing meditations, working with the tarot. And the goal of all of this inner work that I do is so that I can feel really grounded in my purpose and grounded in the next right action so that I can live my life on purpose and with confidence and knowing that I'm on path. Because if we never stop to listen to our inner guidance, how do we know when we're on path? If you don't know your desire, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know how you're made to manifest what you want, how do you know you're on path? So taking some time off and listening to spirit and being quiet for a while and just stepping away from all the busyness of everything else that's happening at this time of year, especially after a year of chaos like we've just had. It's just really, really good, nurturing for the soul. So this is what I want to bring you tonight. It's a little bit of nurturing for the soul. So if you're here, because I'm not really seeing, I'm seeing that one person is there. But if you're watching also on the recording, if you can just let me know that you're here, that you can hear me, that the video is streaming fine, and maybe let me know where you're watching from. So there we go. And I have been meditating all day. So if I appear a little bit ungrounded, it's because I'm already so much in the realm of spirit. So the meditation that I will be channeling for you right now is just going to be phenomenal. So what I want to share with you this meditation, you will need at least 1 hour of quiet time so that you can really go into the meditation, feel the meditation. And it's going to be a huge releasing process as well. So you're going to need some extra time after, just, FYI, because if you've done this work before, you know that when we release things energetically, those of us who are empathic, who feel through our bodies, you might feel like a physical release as well. And that is not always good. Sometimes it feels like the muscles are just kind of relaxing, then you feel better and stress is leaving your body. But if you have been holding on to a lot of stress and a lot of, I'll call it toxic waste, and that is being cleared out of your system, you might feel dizzy, you might feel nauseated, you might actually throw up, you might have flu-like symptoms, even if you don't have the flu and you don't have that virus, but you might feel kind of flu-ish like that for the next maybe 24 to 48 hours. It's something that's absolutely normal. It kind of sucks, that's the yucky side of spiritual growth and spiritual cleansing, but you will feel better after. So if you do feel woozy after the meditation, just know that it's because you've released something big and your body is not used to that. It can also mean that you've called in higher energy than you're used to operating in, and your body is vibrating at a different vibration rate. Not used to that, so it makes you feel a little bit kind of offset, and that is also very clear. Hello, Nathalie. Nice to see you here. Okay, so I've got a crystal. You've probably seen this. I've got the crystal in my hand. So, and this is actually this crystal is called the Super 7 because it has 7 minerals inside this one crystal. It's mostly, there's a lot of amethyst in there, but a lot of other crystals. And the Super 7 is very meaningful for tonight's meditation because we are going to be working with Goddess Inanna, who has gone through 7 gates of purification before she can come back as the queen. So this is very significant. So many different ways. And I could geek out on this, and I don't want to just geek out for hours, because I really want to lead you through this meditation. But briefly, where the Earth is, the axis of the Earth, we are now in the northern hemisphere going into the winter solstice. So it is officially the season of winter. Now in the southern hemisphere, and my friends and almost family down in New Zealand and Australia are going into your summer season, right? Because it's the opposite. And it just has to do with the tilt of the Earth and where we are in the Earth's rotation compared to the sun, right? What that means spiritually, however, in the season of winter, is that we are entering the season of the crone. So each season has a goddess aspect. So in the springtime, it's the maiden. Those of you entering summer, this is more of the mother archetype. Then we have the queen archetype in autumn, and we are now entering the crone archetype. So who is the crone? The crone is she who has gone through life. She has sorted her life lessons, and she's ready to step into a different type of leadership. She's ready to be quiet, to let go of what no longer serves her, so that she can really be on purpose. And you know, in business, you would say, like, you're on brand. You are who you are, and you know, without apology. So you don't accept anything else than who you are. So that can only be done once you've gone through your series of trials and tribulation, right? So we connect with the crone archetype in winter by meditating a little bit more, by going within a little bit more, assessing our lessons, what we want to release, and what we want to call in for the next season, because life is a spiral. And just like nature goes through the 4 seasons, so does our life. So do our relationships. So do our businesses. Everything is seasonal and archetypal, in my view. But now we're really focusing on the crone, on the wise one. And so you'll be invited to tap into the your inner wise self. So we do that by releasing many things that no longer serve, and then calling in your strength. Does that make any sense? Let me know if you have any questions. I can see the comments just scrolling in. So if you have any questions, just pop that in the comments. Even if you're watching a replay, I will make some time, although I plan to be away from the computer until the new year after tonight. But if you have a question, I'll try to answer it as I see it. So as we connect with the crone, one of the crone archetype goddess aspect is goddess Inanna, as I was mentioning before. And it is she who was the queen of heaven. And I won't go through the whole story, the whole mythology, but she had a twin sister who was in the underworld. And she wanted to get the power from her sister in the underworld. And so she had to go down into the underworld. But as she went down, she had to release many of her status symbols. So she went to the first gate and she had to release her scepter, and then she had to release her jewels, and she had to release many different things, until that when she arrived in front of her sister in the underworld, she was completely naked. So mythologically, that would mean also that as you descend into that deep self-knowledge of who you are, you also need to release the perceptions of who you think you should be, right? Because since we're young, we're conditioned to being someone that we think we should be, right? So that we have our parents' approval, our teachers' approval, so that we fit into society. So there's a lot of things that we think that we should be, that we identify with. And then at some point in our life, we think, you know what, that's not really me anymore. I'm not sure I agree with that version of myself. So if you can, let me know in the comments if you've lived that at least once in your life, or if you're there now, like there's something that, you know what, that's not me anymore. So just like kind of raise your hand, give me a like a heart, just let me know that this is resonating with you, that who you've been conditioned to be is not who you know you are in your heart and soul. Just let me know. And we'll work on that tonight so that you shed all those shoulds and really step into who you know, who your soul knows you really are at your core. How does that sound? Are you ready to start? Just checking into the comments. But I don't want to be too distracted with that either. And especially once I start the meditation, I will be in the zone and I will not be looking at the comments. So just an FYI. So let's get started then. I'm not seeing any questions, so I will just assume that you're ready to start. So I want to do this a little bit fun and interactive for all of you today. So I invite you to have a pen and paper or your craft supplies, whatever you have. So I have a few things. I have pen and paper, and I love colored pens. So I have a whole bunch of colored pens next to me as well. And we'll be working with that. So when you have your stuff, pen, paper, craft items, just give me a thumbs up, let me know, and then we'll get started. All right, so let's just get started. So what I would invite you to do on the sheet of paper is if you can do like an outline of a body outline. Doesn't matter if it's a stick figure, doesn't have to be beautiful at all because it's going to represent you, but it's not an exact figure, right? So just a stick figure or an outline of a person. Okay, great. So now I invite you to take a nice deep breath and connect with this piece of paper and connect with the outline of that figure on paper. Project a little bit of your consciousness to that piece of paper. And now I would like for you to write around this piece of paper different beliefs that you might have about yourself. Like, who are you? Who do you think you are? What do you resonate with? And that might be like super big, right? So I'll try to guide you maybe a little bit more into that. So what would represent you as your spiritual self? What are the beliefs that you have in terms of your spiritual self? Is there a symbol? Is there a word? A lot of healers might have beliefs about who they want to be or who they need to be in terms of being self-effacing, being a servant to others, sharing your spiritual gifts for free. Other people might have more the idea of the cross or have the idea of sacrifice. What else would represent you spiritually? If you're feeling empowered, it might be like you might have like the Queen Inanna and have a staff. So just write some words or some drawing, use your craft paper, whatever works well for you, right? There's no one right way of doing this. Now, in terms of your beliefs about your intellect, what are some of the words there? What are some words that you've heard growing up, perhaps, about what you can and cannot do? Is it that you're not good at math, or that you suck at this, or you're really good at that. Like, what do you identify with? What have you heard in terms of words, in terms of what you can and cannot do? It might also be a belief about your role in society, that you might believe that you can only be a mother, or you can only be this, a wife, or you can, if you're a woman, you can't be a firefighter, right? Some of us just grew up with very gender specific roles. So does any of that identify yourself? And we're not judging right now, we're just noticing, like, what am I holding on to? What kind of beliefs am I holding on to? Okay, and don't overthink this. Just write things down on the piece of paper. Now, in terms of how you express yourself, what are some of the beliefs? What is happening there? Just got, like, my throat really wanted to clench there. Um, so that might be like, for myself and other people in the group, that expressing who you really are is not a good thing, that you better be quiet and just observe the world around you and not say what you really want to say. So if that's a belief that you have, you can just write that down on a piece of paper. That silence is golden. Good. And now think of your relationships. What are some of the beliefs that you have about relationship, whether that's friendships or in your family, mother-daughter relationships, spousal relationships, relationship with your kids. It's about who you think you should be, the type of mother or spouse or friend that you think you should be. If it's in your business, the type of coach or healer or leader that you think you should be. What are the words, what are the symbols around your relationships that you might be holding on to? It can be an open heart, it can be a guarded heart, whatever that is. And if you're feeling anything like heaviness, any type of energy, just write that down as well, because that is a clue. That is something that's important. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. Just write it down. And if you are holding on to the idea or the notion that things have to make sense all the time, just also write that down on your piece of paper. It's something that you can challenge. All right. Good. And now with your next breath, think of your relationship with power. How is your relationship with power? How do you view power? How do you view yourself as powerful? Do you see yourself as that power is dangerous? Power is something that's not good? Or do you see yourself as needing to control everything? Do you feel yourself in anxiety more often than not? And what is that? What is that anxiety about? Or is there a symbol that would represent that anxiety, that control? And what does taking aligned action look like for you? Is there a lot of fear around taking aligned action? Or are you always in action and not knowing what to do with yourself if you have 5 minutes of free time. So write a word, a symbol, draw a picture, whatever that is for you. And now about some beliefs about your sensuality, your creativity, your sexuality. What are some of the beliefs there? I know a lot of people feel that, being a good girl means that sensuality or sexuality or, being seen is very dangerous, and it's not nice and it's not good, and you should repress everything that you are just to fit in and to be bland because it's safer if you are. And some other people would be just like expressing their unique self, their maven self, their goddess self without shame. So any issue that you have around shame about your body, always judging your body, perhaps too tall, not tall enough, too fat, too skinny, too this, too that, not enough this, not enough that, wherever you carry shame. And money shame is there as well. So what is your relationship with money? So write a word, a sentence, a phrase, draw a symbol that represents all of that. And breathe. And now let's talk about your feelings of safety and security. What are the beliefs that you have about feeling safe living? Feeling safe being who you are? Is it safe for you to be you? Whether it's a yes or no or an I don't know, just write whatever comes up for you. Is it safe being in your body? And how about your lineage, your ancestors? Is there a symbol there? Is there a word or a phrase? All right, you got that? And if it's not finished, that's okay. We're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for a finished product. And we don't want to overthink this at all either. So just take whatever it is without overthinking. And now you should have an outline of a body or a stick figure and different phrases or symbols all around it. Right? If you got that, you can give me a thumbs up if you have that. And we will be going into the next phase of the meditation. And as we go into the next phase of meditation, I'm just going to light a little bit of sage. So I have my candle here, and I have some sage. So just take a nice deep breath. And imagine that the sage is also reaching you because it's energy. And imagine that you're breathing in this energy of the sage, the light of the candle. And as you do this, check within yourself to see if you're ready to release all the shoulds and the judgments and everything else that made you the way that you are today, but that no longer fit. And just resolve. Say, I'm ready, or I'm not kind of ready. I'm like 80% ready, or I'm 50% ready. Just Feel within what you're ready to release and what is still kind of stuck and resisting in there. And that's okay. There's no judgment and there's no right way. Your body knows, your soul knows, and I'm not forcing you at all to release everything. What is ready to be released will be released easily and effortlessly. What you want to hold on to is absolutely your choice. Okay, so no judgment and no shoulds here. Got that? Excellent. So I invite you now to take another nice deep breath. And as you take that nice deep breath, I invite you to be comfortable in your body. Be comfortable whether you're sitting on a chair, on the floor, or lying down. If you want to stand up, totally up to you. Just make sure that you are comfortable and that you express your body whichever way that your body wants to move. It's all good. Great. So nice deep breath all the way down to your belly. And notice how your breath moves. Are you still breathing only from your upper torso? Are you breathing from your diaphragm area, from your stomach area? Or can your breath reach all the way down to your perineum? Simply notice. And if you can, and if you want to, invite your breath just to go deeper and deeper and deeper in your body, so that as you breathe, you can feel your whole body expand with the breath and come back with your breath. And inhale and exhale very gently, very naturally, without holding on to the breath. Your breath flows with ease through your body. And now bring your awareness inside your heart. And if you want to, you can place a hand over your heart. Bring your awareness behind your heart. You pretend, you imagine that you're entering inside your body and inside a room that's behind your heart. And just stay there and breathe there for a few moments. And from here, with your next breath, imagine that you see some elevator doors. And so you can press on the button of the elevator. The doors open. You walk in and you can press on number 8. So you're going up to the 8th floor. And maybe you hear a little ding and you're up on the 8th floor and the doors open. And so see yourself walking out of the elevator and onto the 8th floor. What does it look like for you? What are the colors? What are the textures? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you hear? You know that this is a level of your soul star. And so you're at the level where you can really communicate with your highest self, with your soul self. And the space that you're in really belongs to you. So whatever you see in there, you can rearrange. And just notice now if there's a nice place for you to sit down, if there's like a couch or a cloud or whatever that is for you, just arrange that space into a nice, comfortable spot where you can sit down. And just as soon as you sit down, it's like, this is so comfortable. And as you relax here, you can call in your highest self. So this is a version of you. And you can imagine that this version of you is coming towards you. And is greeting you with a whole lot of love. It's like, I'm so happy to see you today. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so grateful you're doing this meditation. And just receive that love from your highest self. I'm so happy you're taking some time off and that you're resting and releasing today. I'm so happy we're doing this together. Receive this love. You're at the right place at the right time. All is well, all is well, all manner of things are well. And now you have an invitation from your highest self. And your highest self is asking, so, my dear, what do you want to manifest in this next year in 2021? What is your biggest desire that you want to experience on earth? What is it that you want for 2021? Who is it that you want to become in 2021? What are you stepping into for this next year, this new revolution around the sun? So go ahead and share your dream with your highest self. And it's okay if you don't know. It's okay if you still have some confusion about this. And it's okay if you feel that you don't deserve it. It's okay because we're releasing all of that right now, the confusion, the stress, the disbelief, the mistrust. We're releasing all of that now. And breathe and let it go. It goes up in the clouds. You no longer need that. And now your highest self is letting you know that to really become who you want to be, to manifest what your heart really wants to manifest and experience in your earthly form, there are a few things that you need to release. And your highest self says, I have a guide for you. This guide is going to bring you through 7 gateways and show you how to release with grace so you can really become, do what you are meant to do. So you agree to this journey. And now in front of you appears Goddess Inanna. Goddess Inanna, who comes from the Middle East. So look at how she appears to you. She is a queen. She has a beautiful necklace of lapis lazuli. She is dressed like a royal. So imagine what that looks like for you. How is the goddess appearing to you? What is she holding in her hands? What kind of shoes or sandals is she wearing? What does her dress look like? Does she have a crown? Look at all of those symbols and how those symbols are talking to you about who she is, about her energy, about her status. And Goddess Inanna says, we're doing a journey to the underworld now. Come with me, follow me. And you can choose to follow the goddess. And she brings you down a path. So imagine this path under your feet. What is it made of? What does it look like? If it's dirt or if it's bricks or if it's like a forest floor, imagine this path. Feel it under your feet. And you're going down this path and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper and deeper onto this forest path. And you follow the goddess until you find a gate. And in front of this gate are two guards. And the two guards say, you may not pass. But Inanna says, no, but I am the Queen Inanna. I demand to pass. And the guard says, no, you may not pass unless you release a belief that you have about who you should be as a spiritual person. Inanna takes her crown and puts it on the floor. What are you taking off of yourself? What belief are you releasing? And you can look at that sheet of paper that we've just created with the beliefs. What are you releasing? So just affirm that to yourself. And see yourself removing it and putting it on the ground next to Inanna's crown. And as soon as you've let that go, the two guards open the gate and you may pass. And imagine yourself now continuing down this path deeper and deeper and deeper. Now you're in front of a dark blue gate. It looks like the night. And again, there are two guards. And the guards say, you may not pass. And Inanna says, no, I am Inanna. I want to pass. I request passage. And the guards say again, you may not pass unless you release a belief about who you're supposed to be. And Inanna takes her scepter and puts it on the ground. And what are you releasing? There's a belief, the symbol, the should that you are releasing. Imagine yourself taking it off of you, putting it on the ground. And the gates open, and you cross that threshold along with Goddess Inanna. And you keep traveling down the path, deeper and deeper and deeper. And you come across a gate that is sky blue. And again, there are two guards, and the guards say, you may not pass. And Inanna says, no, I am Inanna. I request passage. And the guards say, you may not pass unless you release something that blocks your self-expression. And Inanna takes her beautiful necklace and puts it on the ground. And now I wonder, what are you releasing? What are you going to put on the ground? Beliefs about what you can and cannot say about who you truly are. And you let that go. You put that on the ground. And the gates open. And you continue down the path. And you walk deeper and deeper and deeper along this path. And you come across a gate that is emerald green. And again, there are two guards, and the guards say, "You cannot pass." And Inanna says, "I am Inanna, and I request passage." And the guards again say, "You cannot pass unless you release something that feels heavy on your heart." And Inanna takes her dress and leaves it on the floor. And I wonder, what are you releasing that weighs heavily on your heart? What shoulds or conditioning or beliefs about relationships are you releasing now and putting on the floor? And the gates open and you can pass, and you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper on this path. And you travel with the goddess, and you come across a golden gate. And once again, there are two guards there, and the guards say, "You may not pass." And Inanna says, "I am Inanna, and I request passage." And the guards say, "You may not pass unless you release a status symbol." And Inanna takes her rings of power and puts them on the floor. And I wonder now what you will be releasing, the beliefs, the shoulds, the conditioning around your relationship or your perceptions of power, of you being powerful. What are you releasing? Let that go. And the gates open, and you can travel through, and you keep walking down the path deeper and deeper and deeper. And you travel with the goddess, and you come upon now some carnelian, some orange gates. And again, there are two guards, and the guards say, "You shall not pass." And Inanna says, "I am Inanna, and I request passage." And the guards again say, "You may not pass until you release something that block your sensual expression." And Inanna takes her golden belt and places it on the ground. And I wonder what you will be releasing. What is the belief, the should, the conditioning, the symbol around your sensuality, your sexuality, your creativity, your fertility that you are now releasing? Place that at the ground, at the base of the gates. And the gates open, and you can pass through. And you keep journeying down that path deeper and deeper and deeper. You walk down deeper and deeper and deeper. And there are some red gates that you come across. Very imposing red gates with two very imposing guards. And the guards again say, "You shall not pass." And Inanna says, "But I am Inanna, and I request passage." And the guards say, "You may not pass unless you release beliefs around your personal safety, ideology around your lineage." And Inanna, who's practically naked by now, removes her shoes and leaves that at the gate. And I wonder what you are releasing. You leave that on the ground. What belief are you willing to release? What is the fear that you're most ready to release right now? What is your safety or security concern that you just no longer want to stress about right now? And just put that on the ground. And the gates open. And you can pass through. And you keep journeying deeper and deeper and deeper. And you notice the darkness. You notice the void. This is like new terrain. You've never been there before. Or perhaps you have, but it's just a new way of you. That you can see this void, this darkness, this nothingness. Arriving in the kingdom of the underworld. Inanna's sister, Ereshkigal. And you go see this goddess of the underworld, and just like Inanna, you might feel quite naked and vulnerable right now. And you might feel that Ereshkigal is kind of happy to see you naked, vulnerable, broken. But you accept this because you know that you've released so many things that you don't really need. You did not need to hold on to that. Those are parts of your identity that you were so done with. So instead of feeling sad or angry or victimized for having shed all of that, I wonder if you can feel the gratitude. I wonder if you can feel the weight that's been lifted off of you now that you've released this. And now you notice a twinkle in the eye of Ereshkigal. And say, now you understand. You didn't need all those beliefs. You didn't need all those things, all those symbols, things that you thought you needed to be beloved, to be accepted, to be seen or perceived as someone else that your soul knows it's not you anyway. So why did you ever pretend to be like that? My daughter, I see your soul. I see your greatness. And your greatness is not all those beliefs. And now you're invited, now that you've shed all of those layers of yourself, all of those beliefs, all of those shoulds. You're invited to step into the highest version of yourself and to see how the smallest version of yourself can be put into the flames of purification, can be transmuted, can die a little bit like the phoenix only to be risen once more. You'll let that go. And breathe. And feel into the energy of this profound transformation and transmutation. And now perhaps you feel that it's time for you to leave the underworld and come back to the upper world. But the queen of the underworld says, no, sorry, you can't. You can't go back. Because everything that comes to the underworld must stay in the underworld. And so you wonder, well, then am I stuck here forever? But thankfully, you have that other image of yourself that we drew at the beginning. And so you offer this image with all of the words, all of the beliefs, this representation of you. You offer that to the goddess of the underworld. And you ask if that version of yourself can stay here in your stead. And that version of yourself is accepted. Not to be hidden, not to be repressed, not to be shamed, but to be profoundly transformed and renewed. And so it is safe to leave that version of you there in the underworld because it's going to guard some of your secrets, but some of your strengths, because there's always strength when you overcome obstacles. There's always strength when you can transform and transmute. So what you thought were obstacles before become stepping stones to your greater self. And you breathe and you feel ready now to take the path back through the gates. And you pass through the red gates. And as you pass, you're invited to reclaim something about yourself. So say an affirmation here that feels true for you. Something around, I am safe. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be grounded in my truth. Now with the goddess Inanna, you go again through the red gates. And you move your journey up, 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 up the path until you're at the orange gates. And now you're invited to claim. You don't pick up the stuff that you left there before because you don't need that anymore. But you claim something new. What would that be for you? It is safe for me to be sensual. It is safe for me to feel. It's safe for me to have cycles of ups and downs. What is your affirmation? What are you claiming for yourself? Again, you're not overthinking it. You're just allowing it to unfold. Now you move again with Goddess Inanna up the path. You journey up, 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 up the path. And your path brings you once again to those golden gates where you are invited to reclaim something about your relationship with power. And I wonder, what would that be for you? It is safe for me to be empowered. It is safe for me to take action. It is safe for me to have boundaries. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my strength. And once you find your affirmation, breathe it in and continue up the path, up the path. And you find the emerald gates. And at the emerald gates, you're now invited to reclaim something about your heart, about your relationships. And what would that be for you? It is safe for me to love. It's safe for me to love myself. I'm a loving person. I exercise compassion for myself and others. I create sacred space. I enjoy beautiful friendships. What are you claiming for yourself? Good. And now you pass through the gate and you keep moving up the path until you find the sky blue gates. Where you're invited to reclaim something about your self-expression. It is safe for me to be true to myself. It is safe for me to be true to my ideals, to my values, and to share my values with the world. It is safe for me to express who I am. So what is your affirmation? What are you reclaiming? And breathe that in. And again, with the goddess, you travel upward, up the path until you find those dark blue gates. And now you're invited to reclaim something about your thoughts, your beingness, your imagination. And what are you claiming? Would it be something like, it's okay for me if I don't really understand the path ahead. I trust my inner guidance. I balance my mind, my logic with my imagination. I embrace my imagination. What is your thought, your affirmation here? And now you travel up the path, up again. And you're at the silver gates. And you're asked to reclaim something about your connection with the divine, with the spirit. What are you reclaiming? I am a divine soul having a human experience. I easily connect with my spiritual guidance. I am constantly nourished by the divine. What are you reclaiming? And you cross the gates And you take a few more steps forward until you're at that soul star inner chamber again, where you're sitting comfortably. Is it on a cloud or a couch? And your higher self is there as well, saying, so, how did you like the journey? What did you learn in this journey? And so you can have this short conversation with your highest self right now, just talking about the journey, what you've released, how you feel, what you're reclaiming. And if there's anything that you want to write down in your journal or on a piece of paper, go ahead and do that now. Just quick little point form kind of words. You'll have more time after to complete the thoughts. And now imagine yourself facing Goddess Inanna and just giving her a whole lot of love and a whole lot of gratitude for guiding you on this journey. And as you face both Inanna and your highest self, allow for one word or one sentence to come forward in your mind and your imagination. One word or one sentence that you will carry for the whole year of 2021. If you don't know, it can just allow it to be unfolded to show you. Say, my word is, and just use that first word that pops into your mind. My word is. Now that you have that word, that feeling, allow it to descend into your body. What does that word look like for you? How does that word feel in your body? Does your body language or posture, does it change as you play with that word? What does that word mean for you? And now in your journal, I invite you to write 3 actions. Again, don't overthink it, just write down 3 actions that help you embody that word. So that means that those actions are going to make you feel like that word. So if it's freedom, what are 3 things that you can do that are going to make you feel free or that resonate to freedom? If it's love, if it's nourishment, power, courage, what are 3 things you can do in your life this week that resonate to that frequency of that word? Don't overthink it, just write down 3 actions. Breathe that in, release. And with your next breath, I invite you to find those elevator doors again. Press on the button. And as you see the doors opening, enter that elevator. And you can press on the 4th floor. And you're back into that heart chamber. And with your next breath, you can feel yourself coming back into your body fully, completely. And breathe. And you might want to move your body, stretch your body a little bit, move your shoulders, move, stretch your neck, stretch your toes and your hands and your fingers. Come back completely to your body. So this was a really deep journey of releasing, transmuting, and reclaiming with Goddess Inanna. If you've noticed, we went through all the levels of the chakras, down to the underworld and then back up again. I hope you enjoyed this meditation. If you want to share anything, go ahead and pop that in the message, in the message box. If you want to share your word for 2021, you can also put that in the comments. I would love to read your word for the coming year. And remember to drink a lot of water. I also invite you to take a salt bath tonight, because a salt bath, and use sea salt or Himalayan salt if possible. Epsom salt is good, but Epsom salt with the magnesium works a lot on the muscle level, and the sea salt or Himalayan salt work on the energetic level. So you can mix both Epsom and sea or Himalayan, and you can add a few essential oils. It can be, I'm getting rosemary and lemon, perhaps. That would be really good for cleansing. And soak in a hot bath for at least 20 minutes is going to help with the transmutation process. So drink a lot of water, have a salt bath, journal. Those are 3 actions for you to do tonight. And enjoy the solstice. This is a solstice tonight. And we are starting on a new era. We are starting on a 20-year cycle. So whatever you're claiming for yourself, that word that you've claimed for yourself, it can really influence you this year, 2021, but also for the next 20 years. So it's going to be interesting for you to see how it's going to play out in your life. But for now, get grounded. I know I'll need to get grounded a little bit more. But at the same time, I'm probably going to continue my solstice meditations. I do tarot readings all night for myself. I'm probably going to do a little bit of chakra dancing. I'm going to continue to doing some channeling with the goddesses, because to me, the solstice is that gateway of transmutation, of transformation, where we step into a new and enhanced version of ourselves. So it's a magical, magical night. And I thank you so much for being here with me. And again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And that's it. We'll leave it to there for now. So merci Nathalie d'avoir été ici. And I love you all. And remember, if you're watching this live or in the replay, just, give me a sign that you like this, and we might do more. All right. Big blessings to you all. My love to you. And remember that I see your highest potential, and I'm here to help you embrace that highest version of yourself and to lead you into the confidence that you need to create a life and a business that you absolutely love. So I'm here to help you. If you want any guidance, coaching, I do have spots available for that. All right. From my heart to yours, big love. See you soon. Bye for now. Hey, Mélanie, t'es arrivée à la toute fin. Je viens juste de voir ton commentaire ici. C'est une grosse méditation. Donc oui, je te recommande d'écouter du début encore. Tu vas vraiment aimer la méditation. Ça prend à peu près 1 heure. On est rendu à peu près 1h10. Mais si je pense que tu vas bien aimer. OK. Bye, à la prochaine.